Someone explain to me what the hell is going on in the NFL? I mean, it started with Jalen Smith yesterday, which we did make a video on, which is pretty much the last video we did. A couple days before, there's this rumor of Aaron Rodgers flirting with the Pittsburgh Steelers, which we will release later on today. It was supposed to go up yesterday, but whenever breaking news comes out, I usually prioritize that over rumor videos. And now this morning, the 2019 Defensive Player of the Year was released by the New England Patriots. So I wanted to ask you guys, before I even get to this analysis, let's just be honest with each other real quick. Where is he going to go? Is he going to go to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, or is he going to go to the Kansas City Chiefs? Let me know in the comment section down below. Make your prediction right now. I'm giving away a signed NFL jersey of your choice to a subscriber that has my notifications turned on. All you have to do is subscribe, turn on my notifications, comment down below what jersey you'd want, and leave me your Instagram or your Twitter handle so I have a means of contacting you. Also, if you could follow my brand new Twitter at Mikerophone NFL or my Instagram at The Flight Mike, that'd be greatly appreciated. And in the event that you're sick and tired of me stretching out these videos to 8 to 9 minutes long, or my analysis is way too long, or I just talk simply too much, I do 1-minute versions of these news videos on my TikTok at Microphone NFL. Now that we got all that out of the way, break! Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? Let's get straight to it, because in addition to what's going on with Stephon Gilmore, we got some news from an ESPN source that suggests a team that might be a shoo-in to go ahead and sign him, and this team isn't going to surprise you one bit. So if you guys remember, I typically make a video every 3 months that goes something along the lines of X amount of players that are about to be traded, and a player that has been there fairly consistently over the last 3 videos for the past year is Stephon Gilmore, primarily because this guy has been an ageless wonder at the cornerback position. Typically, you could expect a very sharp decline for your average cornerback, typically around the age of 29 to 30. And this isn't to say that there aren't cornerbacks that aren't productive past the age of 30, but the demand for a cornerback to keep up in the NFL and successfully being able to shut down some of the fastest, shiftiest, and most elusive players in the entire NFL typically begins to wane around that time. And in Stephon Gilmore's case, he's been an absolute unicorn in that regard. Drafted in 2012 by the Buffalo Bills, from the very beginning, Stephon Gilmore was a beast, but he really began to come to his own in his final season in Buffalo in 2016, making his first Pro Bowl after intercepting 5 passes. And then when he went to New England, it just went to a brand new level. Whenever Bill Belichick gets his hands on a shutdown corner like Stephon Gilmore, he's able to successfully craft these defenses that suffocate opposing teams. And that's what happened with Gilmore in 2017 to 2020. He would even win a Super Bowl with the New England Patriots. And following that Super Bowl victory in 2019, when everyone thought that this guy might get traded soon, or this guy may have been done, he surprised all of us, and in his age 29 season, he won the NFL Defensive Player of the Year award after notching 6 interceptions, recovering 1 fumble, recording 53 combined tackles and 44 solo tackles, and defending an obscene career high, well, tied for his career high, 20 passes. But Tom Brady would leave after the 2019 season, and as a result, the New England Patriots would go into a full-scale rebuild. Well, if you want to go based off of Pro Football Focus grades, if Stephon Gilmore was rated an 82.8 overall in 2019, the year he won Defensive Player of the Year, in 2020, he regressed to a 61 overall. Now, typically, I like to say that a bulk of a cornerback's success is typically based upon how good the defense around him is. And in Stephon Gilmore's case, the defense for the Patriots was absolutely horrendous the following year. They had some of their best players leave or sit out the season due to COVID, but a lot of people also suggested that, hey, maybe Stephon's best years are behind him. He only played in 11 games. He was dealing with some injuries, and those injuries lingered up until 2020. 2021, where the Patriots decided to put Gilmore on the physically unable to perform list for the season. So at some point or another, after a very disappointing 2020 season, Gilmore was very likely to get traded. I mean, Gilmore signed a 5-year, $65 million contract with the New England Patriots in 2017, and he was set to become a free agent after this season. So obviously, there may have been some discussions about whether or not Stephon Gilmore would re-sign with the New England Patriots. Obviously, he makes a very good argument as he had a really remarkable season in 2019, but at the same time, from the New England Patriots standpoint, you're entering your age 31 season. It just doesn't make sense to pay a top cornerback money when you're 31 years old. So there's arguments on both sides, and essentially what the rationale was these two were headed for a divorce at one point or another, because Bill Belichick wasn't going to break the bank on a 31-year-old cornerback, but Stephon Gilmore would probably get a team that would be willing to pay a decent sum of money. Well, I guess Bill Belichick looked at what Jerry Jones did yesterday and said, okay, you know what? I'm going to one-up you here, because here's what officially happened according to Adam Schefter. A stunner, the New England Patriots are releasing 4-time Pro Bowl cornerback Stephon Gilmore, who is eligible to come off of the physically unable to perform list after week 6, a source tells ESPN. The Patriots and Stephon Gilmore could not agree to terms on a restructured contract, and now the two sides are going their own ways. Now, we got some more information from Josina Anderson in regards to the details of this entire situation. So according to Josina Anderson, I'm told the situation remained in a quagmire. It was a catch-22. The Patriots wouldn't pay Stephon Gilmore until he was healthy, but they also wanted him to play 75 to 80%. Now, I'm told his quad is good, and he still wants to be paid like a top corner. Josina Anderson continues by saying that my understanding is that free agent cornerback Stephon Gilmore, who is set to earn $7 million in base salary this season, is looking to earn at least $15 million a year on the open market now. There are several teams that can look to bolster their secondary with attrition already kicking in by week 5. Now, the Patriots were roughly $54,000 under the cap and needed financial flexibility, which this move impacts. Gilmore had a $7 million base salary this season in what is the final season of his expiring contract. The market for Stephon Gilmore, the NFL Defensive Player of the Year in 2019, is expected to be robust. Multiple teams are expected to be interested, and the 31-year-old Gilmore should be recovered from his quad injury in the coming weeks, which, by the way, we do have a report on that. Just wait until you see what team is interested in him. This is going to shock all of you, I promise. Stephon Gilmore will be remembered for, amongst other things, helping seal the Patriots' Super Bowl 53 victory with a late-game interception of Jared Goff. And, of course, Schefter saying what was the first thing that came to my mind: Stephon Gilmore's release marks the second straight day the NFL has been hit with a surprise move. The Dallas Cowboys decided to move on from linebacker Jalen Smith on Tuesday, and the Patriots are moving on from Stephon Gilmore today. Now, Stephon Gilmore actually gave a reaction to this. On his Instagram page, he said, "Pats Nation, it is with mixed emotions that I announce my goodbye to this great fan base. We enjoyed so much success together, and you have been an incredible inspiration for my individual achievements. Thank you for supporting this Rock Hill kid and allowing him to achieve his NFL dreams. To Mr. Kraft, the coaches, and the organization, thank you for providing me with this platform and allowing me to be part of greatness. Most of all, I want to thank my teammates who lined up next to me every Sunday with one goal in mind. Those moments on and off the field will never be forgotten. Sincerely, Stephon." So you might be wondering what's next for Stephon Gilmore and what teams are the most in the mix to acquire Stephon Gilmore. Well, literally on this Instagram post, the Packers All-Pro wide receiver Davante Adams commented, "Call me," on this very Instagram post. But in addition to that, of course, Josina Anderson also gives us a report saying that I'm told just now that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are at least one team that will definitely investigate cornerback Stephon Gilmore's availability per league source. Which, this also makes a lot of sense because the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are down 3 of their starting defensive backs, which is why they went out and signed Richard Sherman. So pairing Richard Sherman with Stephon Gilmore, although they're clearly not at the height of their powers anymore, which, by the way, I think the jury's out on Stephon Gilmore. We should wait and see how good he is once he returns to the field, but that's still a pretty nice defensive back unit considering that your entire starting DB unit is out. And if you pair that with the terrifying defensive pass rush that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have, in addition to the linebacking unit that they have, that's captained by one of my favorite defensive minds in the league in Todd Bowles, that in of itself is terrifying. But here's the problem. It seems like Stephon Gilmore is out seeking one last massive contract because he has the leverage to do so. So he might be looking for a team that could break the bank for him. I personally, as a Dallas Cowboys fan, would love to see Stephon Gilmore paired with Trevon Diggs currently, but I know the odds of that might be a little slim. So it really depends what Stephon Gilmore is looking for. And according to Josina Anderson, she says that my understanding is that yesterday evening and this morning have been an emotional experience for cornerback Stephon Gilmore. Not only will he be changing teams, moving family, kids changing school, but his original intent was to find a resolution in New England that also credited his worth even now. So that's kind of a support on what I was saying earlier, that Stephon Gilmore might be looking for one last payday. But hey, let me know in the comment section down below, where do you think Stephon Gilmore is going to end up signing with? Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike, and if this video gets to 3,000 likes, I'm going to make today a double upload day. I'll catch you guys in our next upload.